awareness and advice. The college, Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, has been conducting a long series, mega series of national and international webinars. The webinars are on the different topics related with various fields. The theme of webinar is women empowerment and environmental conservation. The purpose behind the series is to exchange knowledge, to enrich knowledge, and to find answers to questions and solutions to problems. The webinar series is going on without any interruption very smoothly, and the series could be materialized because of the inspiration and motivation of chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. On behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I heartily welcome him as the chairperson. I am also very happy to welcome today's honorable speaker and chief guest, Jyoti Shetty ma'am from Department of CSE, RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Ma'am, I heartily welcome you as the honorable keynote speaker for this national webinar. I also welcome all honorable organizing committee members, Vice Principal ESD Misal sir, Junior College Supervisor Ravindra Karanje sir, MCBC Supervisor Praveen Utge sir, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, Dr. Sudhir Garad sir, Ambadas Khillare sir, Dr. Patwari sir and Dr. Wadkar sir. Today we have gathered here to listen the keynote speech on the topic cyber security, awareness and advice. Before the commencement of the keynote speech, I would like to invite Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am for the introduction of today's resource person. Please ma'am, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this grand national and international webinar series. On occasion of Golden Jubilee year of the college, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa has organized a wonderful grand knowledge sharing webinar series with the aim of women empowerment and women dignity. So I am very thankful to respected principal for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Many special thanks goes to organizing committee members and a big thanks to all the respected participants. Those are joining daily from all over India and abroad also, and they are making this series very successful series. So it's my pleasure. I am here to introduce today's keynote speaker, Honorable Professor Jyoti Shetty ma'am, who is Assistant Professor from Department of CSE RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Title of speech is Cyber Security Awareness and Advice. Honorable Jyoti ma'am has 15 years of teaching experience and 2 years of experience as software engineer. Her area of interests are cloud computing and machine learning. Ma'am has published several papers in refereed and Scopus indexed journals and conferences. She has executed near about 10 research projects. She has given number of talks as a resource person on different topics. She presented the expert lecture on FDP on ICT tools and effective research at AMC College of Engineering, Bengaluru. She secured top 2% marks in NPTEL course on data mining. She secured the award of excellence in 4-week FDP on use of ICT in education for online and blended learning conducted by IIT Bombay, and she was one of the top performer of 253 out of 4051 participants. So with this introduction, I would like to request today's keynote speaker, Honorable Professor Jyoti ma'am, please start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for kind words. I may share my screen now. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for kind words, ma'am. So before starting the session, I would like to thank Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa, District Latur, Maharashtra, India for this opportunity. I appreciate your initiative towards this very innovative and a very different thought. And further, I would like to thank Bedkar sir for giving this opportunity, and my college, RV College of Engineering Management Principal, HOD, my colleagues, my friends and family for all the support. So I also thank Madam who introduced us to this this team. Yeah, and today's topic is cybersecurity awareness and advice. So rather than calling it as a knowledge sharing session, I would like to call it as an awareness session, because most of us know about the topics that I'm going to discuss today. But in this scenario, where we are living in the digital world, it is very important for us to visit these topics very often in order to protect us from the frauds that are happening every day. So before starting the session, with your permission, I would like to turn off the video, ma'am, so that there will be no network issues. Thank you. Yeah. So before starting the session, I would like to all of you to participate in this cybersecurity survey. It has just got one question, wherein I request all of you to participate. I have posted the link in the chat. So you can see, as shown on the screen, it has got just one question, and it's completely anonymous. You need not think that what we'll be judging you. It's a completely anonymous survey. I want you to honestly look into these questions and answer. So basically these questions help us to introspect ourselves. And in this session, we are going to look at the repercussions of these cybersecurity best practices if we don't follow them. I request all of you to participate in this. So the questions are very simple, and there's only one question. I have posted the link in the chat. If you want, I'll be posting it again. It hardly takes few seconds for you to participate in this. I request the participants to take this survey.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Need permission. It is not allowed. Demanding need permission.
Oh, you don't have permissions. Okay, 1 second, sir. I had set it to the
Ma'am, page is not opening.
page is not opening, sir. 1 second. I'll
Yes, madam. It's demanding need permission.
try this one now, sir.
Jyoti, I think it is for RVC, it is easily accessible for other mail IDs. Just check.
I think I had.
Same issue.
I think it is coming now.
For us, it is accessible. Yeah. But for them,
1 second.
yeah, you just permit them.
Yeah, I think you should be able to do it now. All of you, please check now. I've shared the form link again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the questions are, I read the end user license agreement and consent forms carefully before agreeing to the terms. I want honest answers. Let us introspect ourselves. I follow the best password practices. So what are the best password practices? It should have the uppercase, lowercase, number, and it should be of a minimum 8 characters length. We should have a different passwords for different accounts, right? Do we really follow those best practices? I refrain from sharing the sensitive personal data on social media. Do we really, think before sharing the sensitive personal information on the social media? Like posting of videos, posting of the photos. Do we really think about that before posting? Do I verify the websites I visit are secured before making purchases? So whenever we do an online shopping, do we verify the website that I'm visiting is secure or not? I run the software updates regularly. So do you update your softwares regularly? I use the security software. Have you installed the antivirus firewall on your system? And the last question is, I know which permissions my apps have access to on my mobile. So you might have so many apps installed on your mobile, right? So do you know which permission you have given to your app? And if you're following all of these best practices, and also some other practices which are not listed here, you can put them in the other best practices followed. Yes. What I see is the participant here, so far I have received 10 responses, and the observations, as you can see on the screen, 80% of the participants they do read the end user license agreement. they follow the best 75% of the participants, they follow the best password practices, and around 66% they refrain, they don't share their information on the social media. So it actually shows that the participants here are very much aware of the cyber security best practices. It's a very good to know. Okay, thank you for your participation in this survey. So in this particular session, I give credits to Maharashtra Cyber Home Department, Government of Maharashtra, because I have used the contents on their that was there on their website. Okay, yeah. So going ahead, so looking into some of the cyber statistics, India is ranked third after US and UK in terms of number of significant cyber attacks. So India is the third most targeted country, which is subjected to cyber attacks. Okay, but whereas compared to cyber power, in the sense the defense, the surveillance, intelligence that what we have, in that terms, India is ranked as 21. Right? In terms of attack, it's third, but in terms of defense, in terms of the defense, surveillance, intelligence to tackle the cyber attacks, what we have, we are ranked 21. So there's a huge gap between we as a target and we as a how we can protect ourselves. There's a huge gap. It needs to be filled up, right? Now, if we further look into the statewide statistics, what we observe is Uttar Pradesh stands top in terms of the number of cyber crimes reported. Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, and then Assam. Right? Least is Delhi. Probably I attribute it to the people awareness there, or it may be because of the underreporting. There may be other reasons as well. But what we observe is as our participants here, what I observe is most of our participants are from these regions, right? UP, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, right? So these are the states which are highly, they experience a lot of cyber attacks. And in terms of trend, if we see, so this the graph on the right hand side, it shows the cyber crimes recorded in 2018, 19, and 20. So what we observe is basically there's an increasing trend. Year-wise, there's an increasing trend in terms of the cyber crimes. Right? It's very obvious because we are moving in towards digitization, and it's very obvious that the cyber crimes are increasing. Right? So before looking at the cyber crimes, we need to understand cyber attacks, which lead to basically the cyber crimes. What are the cyber attacks which lead to the crime? So I'm not going into detail of the cyber attacks, technical details of the cyber attacks, but I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. Okay, so a malware attack. So what is basically a malware? It's a malicious software, right? Malware, it's nothing but a malicious software. So whenever a user accidentally installs a bad sound, the user basically whenever he clicks on any link, or when he downloads some file, so that file comes along with a unwanted software, malicious software that gets installed into your system whenever you click on a link or whenever you download a file. So what that software does is it blocks the network access. It stops you from accessing the network. It transmits the data, transmits your sensitive information, and or it may render your system inoperable. Basically, you will not be able to operate your system. Like say, for example, viruses we see, right? Viruses, it harms the files in your system and it makes your system unoperable, right? So next is phishing. So as the term itself says, phishing, it basically tends to appear that it's a legitimate website or a legitimate mail, but what happens is But what happens is it visits such website, or when you open such an email, what happens is it tries to install a malware or steal your sensitive information. It will lead to your form. It will take you to a form wherein you fill in information and you end up losing your sensitive details. So that is phishing. Phishing is basically tricking you to tricking the user to believe that it's a legitimate one, but actually it is not. What is man-in-middle attack? Man-in-middle attack, as a name itself says, so in between the two legitimate persons conversation, the attacker basically will eavesdrop. Eavesdrop in the sense he is able to get to know your conversation. Like say for example, phone tapping, the easiest way to make you understand. So the person tapping will get to know all your sensitive information. So it can happen in your internet or a network also, right? So the attacker can get access to the packets in between. So this man-in-middle attack basically happens when you're using a public Wi-Fi. Say for example, you're on a railway station and there is a free Wi-Fi given, right? So what you do is you connect to that Wi-Fi and say for example, you are accessing your bank there. You are making bank transaction by getting access to that Wi-Fi, right? So there, what happens is in such a environment, in such a Wi-Fi, the attackers what they will do is they will be posing as a legitimate bank account. Basically, you'll be conversing. You are trying to contact the bank, but this person appears to be the bank, and the conversation goes through this person, and ultimately the amount that you are depositing or whatever you're doing, that will go to his account rather than the intended one, right? So that's man-in-middle attack. Zero-day exploits. So what is zero-day exploit is so every software has got a vulnerability, right? It has got some bugs in it. So before the bugs are fixed, like the day the bugs are identified and the day the bugs are fixed, the gap between that, within that gap, the attacker tries to install as much as malicious software as possible, as much as it tries to steal as much sensitive information as possible. That is zero-day exploit. Distributed denial of service. As the name itself says, denial of service. Basically, what it does is it floods your system with so many requests that your system will not be able to perform its intended operation. Right? Say, for example, you have posted a website for something, so the attacker will send so many requests that the other genuine person will not be able to use it. Say, for example, if I take a railway, so railway booking website is there, right? So people use the railway booking website for booking the ticket. But the attacker, when they say DOS attack has happened on that railway, then nobody else will be able to book their ticket because that network is jammed with other requests. Password attack. So basically, we may leave our passwords carelessly, and the hacker may get access to it and thereby install some malicious software or get access to sensitive details. So these are the attacks using which the cyber crimes are committed. Right? There are many other attacks also. So basically, using this, the cyber attacks are committed. Now, let us discuss some of the top cyber crimes. So the top cyber crimes are identity theft, psychological tricks, social media frauds, mobile application frauds, online banking frauds, and virus attack frauds. So we are going to discuss each of these cyber crimes in a form of a story. Okay, so to understand it better. Okay, so what is an identity theft? As the name itself says here, identity theft, it's an act of wrongfully obtaining someone's personal information. So what do you mean by personal information? It's their name, phone number, address, bank account, Aadhaar card number, debit card number, etc. I'm audible, right? So if there's any interruption, please let me know. So personal information may include the name, phone number, address, bank account number, Aadhaar number, debit or credit card number. These are personal information. So how the attacker gets access to these information, how the attacker gets your name, phone number, etc. It's very easy for them. See, what we do is nowadays with the digitization, we tend to provide all this information carelessly on various websites. Like say for example, I will buy grocery from Big Basket. I will buy grocery from Grofers. I will buy grocery from Super Daily. N number of websites, we will simply give our details, and then that attacker, if at all, if that the database of that particular website is hacked, then all your sensitive information is lost. Say for example, this is I think 2020's major data breach, Big Basket, right? There are many users on Big Basket, and their database was hacked. What do you mean by database was hacked? All the users' information was stolen by the attacker, and it was made and that data is made available on what is known as a dark net or a dark web. So the attacker will sell your information on the dark web. So further what will happen is the other fraudster who buys those data will use it for committing the crime. What type of crime the user can do? He can hack or gain to your social media account, right? What type of using your personal information, what he can do? He can access your social media account. You might have seen or you might have faced it. Your Facebook account might have been hacked, isn't it? Or your friend's Facebook account might have been hacked. So what is that basically? That is nothing but the identity theft, right? Misuse of photocopies of identity proof. So we will see how this is done. Debit card or a credit card skimming. So basically, our sensitive information, using our sensitive information, the attacker tries to pose as you, right? So for example, he may use your information, and he may buy a SIM card on your name, and he might commit some crime. He might use your name, and he might use your all the details, and he might make a passport for some other country, right? So that's all possible by gaining access to your sensitive information. That's called as a identity theft, right? All your information is available on the dark net. Now let us see in the form of a story an example of identity theft, access to the social media account. So Samira visits Cyber Cave to take a printout of her work-related documents from her email. We do, right? We don't have printers at home, so we visit Cyber Cave to take print, right? And while taking the printout, while the printout is getting processed, she accesses her social media profile. When you're downloading the file, it will take some time to download the file to give the print, right? She checks her social media, she checks her Facebook and other email, right? And then as soon as the printouts are ready, she rushes to collect it, right? After collecting the printouts, she said, I'm done with my work. She closes the browser without logging out of her account and leaves the cybercrime. See, she did not log out. After 2 hours, what happens is, Samira receives a notification that the password of her social media account has been reset. Now she tries to check her social media account from her mobile, but she's unable to access it. Now, after some time, she gets a call from her boss stating that confidential project documents were leaked on internet by her. This is such a grave mistake. She again receives a call from her friend saying that her social media page shows obscene images and videos. Right? As a consequence of this, Samira loses her job due to leaking of the project documents. And also, she's ashamed that her Photoshop obscene images are posted on social media. She regrets that she did not log out of her social media account. Right? So you should be very careful. Samira decides to report the incident in the police station. The inspector investigates the matter and arrests the culprit. Right? So this is the case where Samira's account was hacked, and some other person using that information, like he on behalf of Samira, he posted the documents on the internet, and he also posted images of her on the internet. but it was not Samira. So what should we do? We should not close the browser window without logging out of the account. See, it need not be cyber cafe. It can be our workplace also. It can be, say for example, you have visited some other college for some other work, and you're trying to use the computer in that place, or you might be traveling, right? When you're traveling, you have not carried out your laptop, carried laptop with you. At that time, you need to use the cyber cafe, right? So it's not that we don't use cyber cafe. At times we might have to use, but whenever you are using some other system, we have to be very careful about it, because we don't want to land up as Samira. Use two-step verification. So usually what happens is, what is two-step verification? When we try to log into our email from other computer, not our own computer, but some other computer, it will ask for an OTP on your mobile, right? That is two-step verification. So this two-step verification ensures that it ensures that if someone else is trying to access your email without your consent, he will not be able to do so. It's basically for that purpose. So you make sure that two-step verification is enabled on your emails, on your social media accounts, etc. Do not save your username and password in the browser. Some of the browsers, they ask you to save the passwords. Never do that. Not on your own system also. Register your mobile number with social networking sites to get alerts in the event of unauthorized access. Right? You on your Facebook and all, register your mobile number. Whenever there's an activity, it should trigger a message to you. Permanently delete all the documents downloaded on the computer in the cyber cave or any other system. Once you're done with your work, make sure that you delete all the documents. Right? So that's one case of identity. Let's look at one more case: misuse of photocopies of identity proofs. We all have to provide our identity proofs in many cases. Like, say for example, I want to get a gas connection, I have to give the identity proof. I want to get a SIM card, I have to give the identity proof. Right? I want to take a loan, I have to give identity proof. Right? Many places we have to give the identity proofs. Right? So, but that identity proof can be misutilized. Right? What can happen? Let's look at this. Suresh applies for a home loan at a non-reputed loan agency, giving loan at a very low interest rate. So don't go for that, right? He submits photocopies of documents, PAN card, IT returns, etc. at the counter. Okay. After 4 months, Suresh receives a call from the bank manager. Sir, you have applied for an auto loan. Suresh says, no, I did not apply for any loan from your bank. Suresh visits the bank. He is surprised to know that his documents are present with the bank. He understands that someone wanted to commit a crime. He visits a police station where the inspector explains that this is the case of identity theft. Someone used his PAN card number and 2 years of IT returns by changing photograph, signature, address and phone number in his identity proofs. Right? The fraudster had applied for 7 auto and personal loans from other major banks using same documents. Suresh regrets sharing his personal documents with untrusted agency. So that's what. You should be very, very careful wherever you are giving your identity proofs, because identity proofs can be misuse of identity proofs can be very very expensive. So never provide your details or copy of identity proofs, PAN card, Aadhaar card, voter card, driving license, address proof to unknown person or organization. Be very, very careful while using identity proofs at suspicious places. Okay, whenever you are giving identity proof, you check it very carefully. Do not share sensitive personal information, date of birth, birthplace, family details, etc. on the public platform. It appears to be very cool or to share our details, but I think it can. We need to double check on that before doing so. Always strike out the photocopy of the identity proof. Whenever you're giving the identity proof, be it a trusted or untrusted organization, you strike out over it. Write the purpose of the usage overlapping on the photocopy. You can write why are you giving that photocopy. Write the date on top of it, and it should overlap that identity proof. This way it becomes difficult to reuse the photocopy. Do not leave your credit, debit, ATM card receipts behind. Don't throw it here and there because it can be misused. Right? So this is an example of misuse of the photocopies of identity proofs. Again, this also is very much related to us. Debit card or credit card skimming. We often go for food, right? To have food at the restaurants and all, right? So there, how the card can be misused. Let's look into this example. Sachin and his friends are having dinner at restaurant. The waiter gives a bill to Sachin. Sachin asks, "Do you accept the card payment? Do you accept the card payment?" Waiter says yes. Sachin hands over the debit card to the waiter for payment. We do that, right? We want to appear cool in front of our friends, in front of our family members, or we are very much busy in our conversation, fun conversation, right? We hand over the card to the waiter. The waiter takes it to the billing counter where he secretly swipes the card in a skimming machine to capture the card information. The skimming machine looks just like a normal payment machine. Okay? The waiter brings the card payment machine to Sachin for him to enter the PIN. Now Sachin enters the PIN carelessly without hiding it from the people around. See, openly he is entering the PIN. The waiter makes a note of the PIN. The waiter now has all the required details like the account holder name, account number, debit card, CVV, PIN, etc. Sachin receives an SMS stating that after a few days he receives a message stating that 25,000 are withdrawn from his ATM. Sachin visits police station where the inspector explains to him that he is a victim of debit card skimming. The fraudster used details of skimming machine to clone debit card and withdraw the money from ATM. Sachin regrets being careless with the PIN and handling the debit card to the waiter without supervision. Right? So what we should do? Always ensure that the credit or debit card swipes at shopping malls, petrol pumps, etc. are done in your presence. They should do it in front of you. Because if there is any suspicious thing, you should be able to make it out. Do not allow the salesperson to take your card and swipe for transaction. Right? Look out for a debit card skimmers anywhere you swipe your card. See, this is a suspicious skimmer which captures the details of your card, whereas this is safe one. So you can see here the skimmer takes the card. I think there's some disturbance. Yeah. So you can see here this is a suspicious skimmer. The complete card has gone inside. Here you can see this is the normal reader. So it reads CVV, name, all the information present in your card. Here you can see the width of the machine is more, whereas this is less. So basically you need to observe. See, when it comes to our hard-earned money, we have to be little cautious, right? So we need to observe this. Is it taking long time for reading? Because in case of skimmer, it has to read and store the data, right? So it might take longer than usual time, right? So that way it is. You should look for it. Next is psychological tricks. This is again very important. So hackers or fraudsters, they try to play with the mind. Say for example, a graduate is desperate for a job, isn't it? A graduate will be desperate for a job. A house or a woman's or a household wives, they are desperate of discounts, isn't it? I'm sorry for that, but that's the truth, right? And if you take men's, they may be fond of lotteries or something like that. So the fraudsters, they try to use this emotional thing and try to attack. I mean, try to commit the fraud. So psychological tricks are where attackers play with the minds of the user to trap them with the lucrative offers. Once trapped, the attackers can exploit the victim by stealing money, stealing sensitive information, or harm the victim. Right? So basically, the entire basis of the attack is to make the victim fall into the trap by sending fake emails, SMS, etc. Right? What are psychological tricks? Phishing, as I told you. What is phishing? It's an act of sending fraudulent email, right, that appears to be from legitimate source. For example, it can be you see email coming from your bank, but actually it will not be from the bank. You see email coming from asking for what do you say, your maybe for what we say, giving loans, or there are a lot of emails, right? So which try to trick you, right? Which or a recruiter, debit card company, etc. This is done to attempt to gain the sensitive person information, bank account details, etc. It's not a legitimate one, right? Wishing is same as phishing, but the act is committed by calling. They may call and ask you, I'm calling from bank and there's some problem with your bank account, give me your details, like that. If it is committed on the phone call, it's called as phishing. Smishing is SMS. Nowadays, what I observe is we don't really open the SMS and look into it, right? So what they are doing is the SMS, starting of the SMS, right, that appears to us on the mobile screen. They are the SMS, those messages are such that we have to open it. It will be like dash amount has been debited to your account. So it creates a curiosity among us and makes us to open such SMS, right? So that is phishing. Lottery fraud, debit card or a credit card fraud, job related fraud. So all these are frauds which play around the psychological state of a humans. They try to trick them, right? Let us see some examples. Psychological trick, debit card or credit card fraud. So here the caller, hello, I'm speaking to Manisha. I'm calling from your bank. Your debit card has been blocked due to suspicious activities. Right? I need to verify your details to reactivate your card. Please provide your debit card number and PIN. Manisha, but how do you believe whether it's really blocked? The caller, is it Manisha living in Sunflower Society of Delhi, having saving accounts with the bank? Manisha, yes, the information you gave is correct. We already have your details, ma'am. We just need to verify them. Please provide your debit card number and PIN. Manisha provides the details asked by the caller. Manisha, please reactivate my debit card soon. After 3 hours, Manisha receives SMS notification that 10,000 has been debited from her account on an online transaction. She realizes that the call was fake and the attacker used the information to steal the money. She visits the police station where the inspector tells her that she is a victim of phishing crime. It's over the phone call. Right? Inspector then starts investigation. Manisha regrets believing the attacker and giving away the vital information. So, do not get petrified. What are the tips here? Do not get petrified if you are receiving the call stating that your card has been blocked. Bank will never convey such information on call. Do not share your PIN, password, card number, CVV, OTP with any stranger, even if he or she claims to be a bank employee. Bank will never ask for any vital information. Right? See, whenever it comes to whenever any person, your PIN, password, card number, CVV, in any form, you should think twice, thrice before sharing it. Whatever state it may be, you have to pause, think, and then act whenever it comes to such a sensitive information. See, our bank and many other websites, they keep telling we don't ask for OTP, we don't ask for OTP. But I've seen many people, they end up sharing the OTP and losing the money. Okay, keep your bank's customer care number handy so that you can report any suspicious or unauthorized transactions on your account immediately. So what you need to do is you need to keep your bank customer care number saved in your phone so that whenever such an incident happens, you can report it immediately. Right? Next is job fraud. See, while searching for this information, while preparing for this presentation, I had come across a site where I can see even in 2022, people are falling for this. We might think that this might not happen to us, but we realize only when it happens. So it is very important for us to revisit these things often and be more vigilant. So psychological trick, job fraud. See, graduates, I hope you understand how much pressure they'll be having to get a job, right? And such a pressure or such a state of mind makes them to commit a mistake. So what happened is 22-year-old Samhita, who had been trying to find a job since she graduated from AMC College, Bengaluru. Right? She lived in Hassan district, Sakleshpura, and their parents were counting on the daughter to help clear their loans. Right? And she had uploaded her resumes on several job portals and hoped that she will get an interview call. On one afternoon, this is the real incident, okay? On December 21st last year, Samhita received an email from an ID that read hr.monster13india.com. Samhita had signed up for job alerts on employment portal Monster and was thrilled, and she finally received a call for an interview. So when you have applied for the job on Monster, you have received a mail and you're desperately looking for it and you're wishing for that to happen, then obviously you will tend to believe it. I did not suspect that this was fake account. Soon after I received an email, I got a call on my mobile number, and a man named Abhishek Acharya said he was from Monster and there was an interview call for position at HCL. He said I have to pay 12,000 as a registration fee and that I would be able to go for the interview then. She had to pay 1,200 as a registration fee for the interview. A few hours later, he asked me to pay 18,000. The next day I had to pay 13,000 and later same day 15,000. Okay, and then the next day she received a fake offer letter from HCL. See, she also received an offer letter from HCL after telephonic conversation with and this time another man named Amit Singh, who claimed to be employee in HCL HR department, allegedly told Hamida that she had to pay 29,000 for a certification program. So you will get a job only if you do this certification and you have to pay 29,000. So what Samhita will think? So I've already paid 19,000. Let me go for it and I'll be getting salary anyways. Later on I can repay the loan. Would be conducted as a part of election. Samhita paid Amit Singh too, and when she asked date of joining, Amit allegedly informed her that he would be in touch. By the first week of January, so this started in December 21st, Samhita was worried that she may have been duped. She got in touch with HCL in Bengaluru and inquired about the job offer she had received. She even sent them a copy of the offer letter she had received. To her dismay, HCL informed that her letter was forged. So she lost around 76,000 in a few days' time. My parents were struggling for the money and they had taken loans to pay for the job, and in turn, it turned out to be a sham. Right? So what the police says, in Samhita's case, police says that the phone used to contact her was last used in Madhya Pradesh, and the IP address from which the email was sent was from Nigeria. So it is very difficult to track someone's online identity that we don't know. If it's a robbery or a murder, it's jurisdictional, right? So they can work on that, it's jurisdictional. But when it comes to people morphing pictures, extortion rackets on online dating platform, it is easier to track down the people as their IDs available. But economic offenses, it's hardest to track. There's one more incident. I'll just tell you this incident. What happened is, one person, his wife, she had done an online shopping. She bought a dress material and she did not like it. She wanted to return it. So what they did is, they searched for the customer care number of that company in Google, and they found one number and they called that number. That person said, I will initiate the refund for you. So you will receive a link, you click on that link and the fund will be transferred to you. So this is UPI fraud, right? So that message, that the link that he received was HDFC UPI. Assuming it was legitimate, I clicked the link, and that led me to portal, but there was no form. Actually, just clicking was enough. And what they had done is they had done 3 transactions. 90,000 was transferred to unknown account via BHIM. Some seconds later, received another message where 70,000 was transferred to another bank account via the same app. Madhusudan immediately called the bank and asked them to stop any further transfer. So I have 3 bank accounts linked to BHIM. So 3 accounts linked to same app, and the money was wiped out from 2 accounts. I was able to save 40,000 only after I called the bank. Right? So this is how they try to trick it. So the takeaway here is you should never search for the customer care number on the Google. You should always go for the trusted site and then look for the customer care. Don't Google everything. Okay, there is something you need to be very, very careful. Lottery fraud. So Venkateshulu, who had purchased a TV from a website, had won a lucky draw from a pool of customers chosen for it. Venkateshulu, who was initially skeptical, had ignored the SMS. A day later, he received another SMS from the same sender ID, which claimed that he had to claim the prize within next 24 hours. See, psychologically, how next 24 hours you should claim, otherwise it's gone. He also received a call from person posing as a customer executive and informed him that he had to pay 1 lakh to claim the prize, and that the money would be refunded to him once winning were deposited to him. See, you have won a lottery, rather than paying you, they are asking for your money. Then you should become suspicious than and there itself. When someone is asking you to pay money to collect alleged winnings, that must be a trigger. People get conned by a lot of lotteries because the amount of money is too huge for them to pass on. This is important here. This one of the senior police officers says it's very difficult to track such frauds. Why? Why it is difficult to track such frauds? In many cases that I've worked on, the IP address or the phone numbers are from Nigeria, Trinidad, Congo, or Eastern European country. How do we track down and arrest these people? It's not possible because you have a boundary restrictions, right? Different countries, different jurisdictions. After 5 or 6 days of investigating, we reach a dead end between the amount that individual victim loses and the amount that needs to be spent on investigating that case. So this, because of different jurisdiction, the amount that has to be spent in solving such cases is very huge, which the government cannot afford. Lakhs have to be spent on one investigation. The economics do not add up, and the physical international boundaries are the major hurdle. So that's the reason the cyber attacks are, they are difficult to settle. Always search and apply for, what are the tips? Always search and apply for jobs posted on authentic job portal or newspapers. Check if the domain of the email is same as you have applied with. And basically check your websites. Beware of fake emails impersonating themselves as recruiters and requesting for a personal information or a money. Right? Here, I would like to show you one small video. It's a very viral video recently. I hope many of you have seen this. Have you seen this? Just if you have seen, raise your hands. Have you seen this? If you have seen, just raise your hands on help urgently.
अरे मोहिनी ने ये मैसेज क्यों किया? हाँ मोहिनी, क्या हुआ बता? यार मुझे अर्जेंटली 50,000 रुपए चाहिए.
It's a very viral video recent days.
मेरी मम्मी का एक्सीडेंट हो गया है. मेरे पास बिल्कुल भी पैसे नहीं है. प्लीज मुझे 50,000 रुपए भेज दे. ये सब कैसे हुआ? बाद में बताती हूँ. अभी बहुत अर्जेंटली पैसे चाहिए. प्लीज भेज दे.
See, urgency is one. They tell you it's urgent. They want you to do the take action quickly. That is also something you should be that should be triggering you.
यार मेरे पास 50,000 तो नहीं है. चल ठीक है.
she's getting suspicious now. She had asked her to transfer money to her friend's UPI rather than Pragati's UPI. Rather than doing a normal WhatsApp call, she's doing a voice call.
हाँ मोहिनी, तू फोन क्यों नहीं उठा रही है? अरे वो सॉरी यार, फोन चार्जिंग पे लगा हुआ था, साइलेंट भी था. अच्छा, अब तेरी मम्मी की तबीयत कैसी है? और क्या बोल रहे हैं हॉस्पिटल वाले? मम्मी सब कुछ चेक कर. अच्छा, 1 मिनट रुक. यार मेरा व्हाट्सएप तो लॉकडाउन है. क्या आया था जिस पर वो कोई ओटीपी या कोई कोड मांग रहा हो? हाँ, थोड़ी देर पहले एक कॉल तो आया था. हेलो.
हेलो मैम, मैं कोविड वैक्सीनेशन टीम से.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
मैम आपको तो पता ही होगा, ओटीपी है. आपको बता दीजिए, आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन हो जाएगा.
ओके, एक सेकंड बता. ओटीपी है, ये औरों को भी मैसेज कर रहा होगा. तू एक काम कर, तू अपना व्हाट्सएप लॉगिन कर.
So what they do is like this, they try to trick you and try to commit the fraud. Some other frauds are social media frauds like sympathy fraud, romance fraud, cyber stalking, cyber bullying, etc. So this is again what we are seeing very recently. Whenever there's some Women's Day, you get a link that Amazon on Women's Day is giving away some gifts. It's Amazon's anniversary. It's a new year, so Flipkart is giving away the gifts. We tend to get URLs, right? Short URLs we get. So all those are fake messages. So how it works is when you click on the link, it asks you, when you click on such links, it will ask you a few questions about the company, say Amazon, how long you know Amazon, how is Amazon, etc. You fill on those forms and then it says, yes, you have won the this thing, for won the prize. For this, you have to send this message to 5 other people, right? And then you say you agree for that. What will happen? That message will be posted to all the contacts in your group, right? All the contacts in your phone, right? And then they ask you that to collect the gift, you have to pay something. One is they must inform the 5 groups, 20 people, etc. And they must enter their address and a complete registration. They will also ask you your sensitive information, bank account and etc. And you end up losing your sensitive information, and also you are making others also vulnerable to it, right? But in turn, you're not going to get. So always beware of this. See, in this world, no one is going to give you free money for sure, right? No one will give you free money, so you have to be aware of it. So what are some of the tips? Whenever you get some short link, you never click on that. First of all, never click on any link. Just clicking might make that to install software, malicious software on your system. You can check it using unshorten.it or checkshorturl.com. You can verify whether it's a genuine link or not, whether that link is from Amazon, Flipkart actually or not. You can check the link before visiting. Is it a phishing? By putting the link in this. Is it phishing.org? urlvoid.com. Whenever you receive a phishing email, you can check whether the email is actually from your from the intended sender or not using this. It gives you the email headers, who sent it exactly, right? Whenever you saw spelling mistakes in the mail, that should also trigger you, right? And don't fill off any forms asking for the personal information. Never search customer care numbers on the search engines. This is again important. Nowadays, we are a very fan of scanning the QR codes. Never do that. Scanning QR code is actually giving the UTP, UPIN, bank card, CVV numbers, etc. It means that you're transferring your money from your account. So never scan the QR code just simply like that. Only trusted places you scan the QR code. Enable 2-factor authentication. Never share your screen while doing the banking transaction, right? And always install a authenticated applications. I think I've taken time. It's time up. So should I continue or should I conclude the talk, sir?
Your wish, madam. You can continue also.
Yeah, I think I have few more stories.
Just you share. Don't worry.
I'll take 5 more. Try to be as crisp as possible. Cyber stalking. Basically, what is cyber stalking is nowadays we are very fan of posting our updates on our social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp and all. But actually, it can be very harming, right? Someone a fraudster or someone not a genuine person might be looking for you all the time. He might be stalking all the time. So Preeti is a beautiful, popular girl in the college. She is active on multiple social platforms. She is an adventurous girl who likes traveling in different cities. She always uses check-in feature of her social media account. Why is this required? It's not required. It's actually doing more harm to you. What you can do is after coming back, you can post. Tag the places she visits. Rishi keeps stalking Preeti on the social media. One day, Preeti decides to go on a solo trekking trip. Excitedly, she updates her plan on the social media with itinerary. Rishi now knows her entire plan and decides to follow her on the trip. Rishi follows her in near mountain where he finds her alone and molests her. Preeti cries and shouts for help. Rishi runs away before anyone arrives there for help. Preeti visits police station where the inspector investigates the case. The inspector tracks the whereabouts of Rishi and arrests him. So that is cyber stalking. Someone may follow you and may try to do some harm to you. So never post your location data, etc. Never post your updates on the social media. Never post your photos on the social media. Or even if you're posting, restrict your posts only to your friends. Today only you go check your Facebook and other accounts and restrict to your friends. Restrict your access to your profile. Social media sites offer privacy settings for you to manage who can view your posts, photos, send you friend requests. Okay, ensure your personal information, photos, videos are accessible only to your trusted ones. Be careful while uploading your photos on the social media, which show your location or a place where you frequently visit, as cyber stalks may keep attack on your daily life. Cyberbullying. So this we see in the teenagers. Samir is very innocent and a very shy boy. He does not feel confident to talk with the people face to face. Hence, he talks to the people on the social media. One day, Himish, along with his gang of friends in the school, harass Samir by calling him a coward. Samir ignores them as he is not looking for an argument. Himish later creates a troll page in the name of the Samir. So they are trying to troll him on the social media. He irritates and defames Samir by posting adult jokes about him. He also posts several memes and funny videos which go viral and everyone starts to make fun of Samir and abuse him. After ignoring for a long time, Samir is depressed and finally decides to tell his parents. His parents later complain to the school authorities and to the police station. The inspector from the cyber cell deletes the viral post. Samir regrets for not informing the school authorities regarding the matter at a later stage. So he regrets for not informing school authorities at an earlier stage. Right? So be careful. If your child's behavior is changing, he or she is more aggressive than before. If suddenly your child stops talking with you or his friends, if he or she stops using digital devices or is scared, so you should observe these behavior in your child. He may be subjected to cyberbullying. Make your children aware about the cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is punishable. It's very important that you educate your kids so that they don't commit such a crime, and so that they neither do or indulge themselves in cyberbullying, nor they let anyone tease them. Discuss safe internet practices with your friends and family regularly. Monitor your kids' activity on the social media. Even if the children or students know about any friend who is a victim of cyberbullying, they should help the victim. Report the matter to parents or teachers immediately. Do not delete offensive messages, as it will help in police investigation. So just don't delete it, but inform the teachers and the mobile application frauds. Nowadays we see a lot of apps. Simply downloading the apps might be might be harmful. So you can see here, these are two doctors, and she has downloaded one app actually, which seems to be useful for her for report preparation and all. But it was said that that app is actually infected with a malware. It was announced, and it was also taken down from Google Play Instant, Google Play Store. But still, as the app was very useful, she decided to go with that. What happens is, later on, that malicious software, it makes her phone unusable, right? So you should be very careful about the mobile apps that you install in your system, right? So always install mobile applications from official application store or a trusted store. Scrutinize all the permissions requests thoroughly involving privileged access, right? Photo application may not need microphones. Regularly update the software and mobile applications to ensure there are no security gaps. Beware of malicious applications or malicious updates in existing applications. Clear all the data related to malicious application and uninstall it immediately. So if you find a malicious application, uninstall it immediately and clear all the data related to it. So you can see here, this is again a phishing. She's a lady fan of having plants. So she sees that the plants are discounted. After some time, some more discount is given. After some time, some more discount is given, and this makes her prompts her to click on that, and her system is blocked, right? So never download or install pirated software applications. Do not click on URL links provided in suspicious email. Always check HTTPS appears in the website. Always check that HTTPS is there. HTTP is unsecure. HTTPS should be there. Use always genuine software, right? Never download or install a pirated software. Always read terms and conditions before installing. Computers and laptops should have a firewall. Always scan external devices. Keep Bluetooth connection always in invisible mode. Before disposing computers and mobile devices, make sure that you wipe off out your personal information. Online banking frauds. Again, what happens here is this is again UPI related fraud. So what is the takeaway from this is limit your bank transactions. So you should limit your
नमस्ते
bank
मैडम,
transactions to certain amount, say
मैं
5,000
प्रिंसिपल
per
बेड़कर बोल रहा
day,
हूँ।
not more
जो
than.
देशमुख मैडम ने आपका इंट्रोडक्शन दिया था मुझे फ़ोन नंबर, वो स्पीच के वास्ते, तो इसलिए मैंने आपको कांटेक्ट किया था। तो हम एक वेबिनार सीरीज चलाते हैं 2 साल से, तो उसमें रिसोर्स पर्सन ज्वाइन होते हैं भारत से, भारत के बाहर से, खाली महिलाएं स्पेशली। तो आपको भी हम इनवाइट करना चाहेंगे। आपका वेबिनार हो सके तो मई में आ सकता है या 15 जून की पहले आ सकता है।
I should read end user license. I should follow the best password practices. I will refrain from sharing sensitive information. I will verify the websites that I visit. We should take this pledge today and be very alert with respect to cyber security. We should run the software updates regularly. You should use the security software, antivirus firewalls. You should know which permissions your apps have. So that pledge we should take today, so that we protect ourselves from the cyber attacks. Sorry for taking a little long time. Yeah, thank you. Any question?
Thank you, ma'am, for your very detailed talk on the topic cyber security and advice. Now, after this keynote speech, I request participants, if they have any query or doubt, please ask the honorable keynote speaker. Please, participants. Is there anybody else having any doubt or question?
This is Satya. Actually, I would like to know if there is any conversation, we made a calls, if I didn't record that conversation, but something happened, I would like to get that conversation on particular day. So what is the procedure to go, to get the particular day recording or the call conversation?
Ma'am, actually, if you have not recorded, I don't think it is possible to get the information. If you have not recorded, I think it's not possible, ma'am, because it's not going to be stored anywhere, right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
मैडम,
Yes, sir.
मेरी आवाज सुन रही है आप? आ रही?
Yes, sir.
मेरे पास में 2-3 बार मैसेज आया. मैं जोधपुर से बोल रहा हूँ, सूर्य प्रकाश. मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ाता हूँ, गेस्ट फैकल्टी में. मेरे पास में 2-3 बार मैसेज आया है बॉम्बे, ब्रिटिश हाई कमीशन से. उन्होंने फ्यू लाख जो पॉइंट्स है वो मेरे को इनाम की बात की है. तो मैंने कहा मेरा तो कोई ऐसा लिंक नहीं, ऐसा कुछ किया, तो मेरे पास में ऐसा कैसे आ सकता है? मैंने उसको वैसे फॉलो तो नहीं किया, पर ऐसा कुछ आया.
सर वो सभी फेक होता है सर.
जी, मेरे को ऐसा ही लगा, इसलिए मैंने उसको आगे फॉलो नहीं किया.
Yes, sir. Actually, I will tell 2 instances of mine, sir. It's about 4 years back. I had few books. I thought I'll sell it on what is that? That's reused things we sell it, right? It's a popular website, sir. The moment I posted the advertise on that app, I got a call.
OLX, ma'am? Is it OLX?
Yes, ma'am, OLX. I think it's a very popular fraud, right? We get a call immediately saying that I want to buy it. I cannot talk to you more. I live in a military area. So give it. My friend will come and collect the books from you. Give me your Google UPI, he asked. Then somehow I got the way he was talking, the way the urgency that he was doing. I thought something is very fishy. I just drop off the call and I didn't continue with that. And one more thing is, I made one of the on Paytm app. I bought something. So what happens is, when I brought something from that vendor, my information like my phone number, etc., went to them. That vendor called me that recently you had purchased this item from Paytm, so you have won a lottery for that. And I said I'm not interested. So nobody in this world is going to give you money for free. That is for sure. They'll take money but they'll not give.
थैंक्स मैडम.
Thank you, sir.
और एक और बहुत बार है ना, जो कंपनी कौन से मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन कहीं से ले लेती है, फिर आपको शेयर के लिए और लोन के लिए और कभी वो तंग करती रहती है. बहुत बार ऐसा मैसेज भी आता रहता है.
Yes, exactly.
एक कोई ऐसी अच्छी बुक हो जिसमें साइबर सिक्योरिटी तो मैं हम अपने बच्चों को प्रिपेयर कर सके, तो ऐसा आप
सर एक्चुअली our government has done ये जो लिंक है ना सर, अभी मैंने आपको बताया, सो अगर आप वो वेबसाइट विजिट करेंगे, so they have a very beautiful they have given lot of information there, sir. Our government has done lot of things, only the thing is we need to look into it.
Even one of my student, actually what happened, they are collecting the special coins, like this year, I'll deposit the money. In that way also he has received. After that he was asking so much personal information, so I told not to proceed it, so it might be a hacker. So like this also it's happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more question from anybody? I feel now there is not any question. After the keynote speech and questions and answers, now it is time for all of us to listen concluding words by the Honorable Chief Organizer and Chairperson of this webinar series. So I request him to present his concluding words. Please, sir.
Thank you, Professor Karad sir, and today's resource person, Madam Professor Jyoti Shetty, Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of CSC, RV College, Engineering, Bengaluru, Karnataka. She explained about cyber security awareness and advice for us. Actually, this topic is very close to us because nowadays we are depending upon the internet and all the facilities, or we are using apps or bank transactions or any updates we are filing on this internet. So at that time, knowingly or unknowingly, we are sending our useful information. Then what will happen with that information? How we'll get in trouble? How we made secure to us by while using these apps? How the phishing mails are should be identified with particular authorized mail, and how to secure our all data. All these things are very important and useful to us because these things routinely happen always, and we read in the newspaper. So it was the topic to save our data, to save our money. All these things are nicely covered with all ppts and information of the websites with examples, best examples, routine examples, and those who are understandable to all. Thank you, madam. You are expert of this field, and you are from engineering side, so you have explained so nicely. We are thankful to you for joining here as a resource person on this very important topic.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Now I am here on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series Shri Kumarswami College Ausa for formal vote of thanks. First of all, I thank honorable keynote speaker and the resource person Jyoti ma'am, who has given very detailed talk on the topic, and different tips have been given to avoid online fraud. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I thank you, ma'am. I also thank the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, who is taking lot of efforts to continue and run the webinar series. So thank you, sir. I also thank Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, who has given the introduction of today's invited speaker. I also thank the participants for patiently listening the keynote speech and actively participating in the question answer session. So thank you, participants. And now I request participants to fill feedback link to get the certificate of this webinar. And at the end, with the permission of chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, I declare here that today's webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, madam.
I thank Mangal De ma'am for giving me this opportunity for connecting me to
Mangal
the
then madam have introduced you.
Yes.
So thank you to Mangal ma'am also.
Thank you, sir.